Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Inspector Hector here, ready to review the scathing, hot shot, anticipated, underrated, greatest Call of Duty ever made, guys. Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, today, we're going to be looking at the wild and crazy world of Call of Duty Vanguard, the epic first-person shooter, coming very soon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen. This game is like a passion project, let's call it. This game is like a fan rendition of another game coming out this year that's very much so anticipated. What's it called? The Battlefield 2042, 2046, 2076. Shout out Cyberpunk, best game ever made. Folks, I don't know how to say this. Vanguard, made by Treyarch, or no, it's not Treyarch, Sledgehammer, one of the two. I can't tell them apart. I mean, I'm sure you could if you really looked into it and really did your research. You figure out which one. Not that it matters. The developer doesn't matter in this case. I'm not pissing my pants about that. Runs on the Modern Warfare engine, so your head gets shot off, your head explodes, your eyeballs fall out, all the sockets, all the cute feminist characters just get their shit pushed in. So, you know, if that's a selling point to you, it is obviously something that you can be doing.
What'd you say, Jamie?
Let's talk gunplay. Let's just talk about the guns. Before we get into the map, whatever. It's the beta, right? So we have to give our feedback. The guns. The system is interesting. It is unique in that there are a lot more slots, but the more slots you use, the heavier, the more. It's interesting. It's an interesting system. Definitely, you got to think about what you're doing while you're doing it. Not just mindlessly putting on as many attachments and not. You have to think, you know. So it encourages critical thinking, which is something that I can appreciate. So that's a plus side. Gunplay. The muzzle flash on some of the guns is so bad to the point where you can't even see. You don't forget the guns. We got to talk visibility. Visibility is the number one thing that is really irritating me, I'm going to be honest. To the point where I put on the nameplate perk even rather than using a different perk just because I want to see where I'm shooting at. It's very difficult to see people. They're not easily outlined. Not even the fact that there are no factions, so everyone's just running around like it was free-for-all using whatever character they want. It's going to get even worse once the actual game comes out and it's not just random rotation for the skins. Half the time you don't even know where you're getting shot from, so there's not as much camping. But when there is camping, it's bad because you don't know where it's coming from. Usually you get to deal with it, but sometimes you can. That really messes with people's heads. Definitely not what you want to be doing on a daily basis, let alone, yearly release cycle for Call of Duty. Shooting the gun, a lot of the guns, creates a lot of flash on the front of your gun, which also makes the visibility even worse to the point where you can't even see. The sights are ugly. I don't care that there's dots. I get that you have to put them in the game. There's going to be dot sights. It doesn't matter if it's not accurate for World War II. They're all yellow, and the ones that I've used at least are all extremely small, which isn't really they're difficult to use. I'd rather use iron sights, to be honest. I'd rather use something else because these tiny ass little yellow dot on the screen, I don't know. I'm having trouble using it. Maybe it's because I've only been using sniper rifles. I've only exclusively been using the 3-line, whatever it's called, 3-line rifle, which, I mean, we gotta get it. We'll get into the guns later. Folks, you play the game and you can't see shit, okay? You cannot see anything. It is incredibly difficult to see. People blend in with the background. That Russian map, there are so many camping spots up on the front for snipers, and I'm a sniper, so I'm not going to complain about that, but it is annoying down on the ground getting cucked by somebody on the roof that you can barely see because there's snow falling, everything's all windy, and he's hiding, and it's difficult to find him out. So really, it kind of turns into a little game of hide-and-go-seek where you get shot, and you got to go find the person that shot you because you're not really getting a good idea of where they're at. So that's the first complaint. Let's just get that out of the way. The visibility on this game is not very good and should at least, I don't care about factions that much. You don't have to keep the factions. I'm not going to cry because there are no specific teams. Just give us an outline or make the nameplates big. I don't know, man, but you got to do something about this visibility because this game, if people wanted to camp, they would. Right now, most of the games I get into, people are encouraged to move around because of the high player numbers. Another thing that was taken from Battlefield with the high player numbers. So it's not a big deal. I don't care about that. It's just, have a bit of originality for one. 66 on the big maps gets to be tedious. The 3 maps or the 4 maps that were out, I don't know what. Gavudu 6v6, not good. The Russian map 6v6 in the snow, not good. I'm gonna keep it real. The best map in my opinion is this one. It's unique. I don't think I've ever played on it. Maybe I'm too young to have experienced anything like it before, but I don't think I've ever played a Call of Duty map where it's like on top and below. It's like it's interesting to me, so I like this map a fair amount. I do not mind it. Other than that, the maps, they're okay. They're decent. The Russian one, you can't see shit. It is incredibly difficult to see things on the Russian one. So that's, if anything, that's my complaint about that. The other two, there's like a German one in the mountains. It's nothing to write home about. It's basic, 3 lanes. You know, you go in the house, you shoot. You go on the side, you snipe. There's nothing really interesting about it. Just how it goes. Russian one, you cannot see. Go Voodoo is fine. I like it, actually. It's a cute little sniper's nest in the top, so you can kind of take advantage of that. So, I mean, you could get some power positions going. It's not bad. I don't mind it. Spawns aren't terrible. I mean, there's been times where people have just spawned in front of me, and I just picked them off really easy. I don't know if we'll get into that gameplay later on. It's probably somewhere in here. I'll probably cut to it. So that was pretty cool. It's not bad for me, but the day that it happens to me, I probably will be pretty upset about it. Let's get to the guns. I've only used mostly the 3-line. I'm trying to get the Kar 98. I don't know if I'm gonna. You have to be level 26 to get it. Level 26 on the beta. And keep in mind that none of your progress transfers over. I'm not buying the game. None of your progress actually transfers over. So what is the point of grinding for these guns and attachments if you can't use it? I don't even know. That's just really silly to me. If anything, I would have tried to use it in Warzone. But honestly, I bought Cold War. It was easier to level up guns. It must be such a pain to level up guns in Warzone. Like, imagine, I don't even want to think about how difficult it would be to level this up. The 3-line in Warzone with no attachments, so everyone else is souped up, dude. That would actually be hell. I don't even want to think about that. I get, like, you would just have to play Plunder or something. Like, you honestly, like, I don't know how people have done it before. Any of you people that actually got Cold War weapons without buying Cold War, some of the snipers, like, I mean, SMG assault rifle, debatably you could make that work, but it's still difficult. It's still few and far between, so it's frustrating that they're going to integrate it to Warzone, but then I might not even use the gun, honestly. Whatever. Enough about that. 3-line rifle. I can give a cognitive review on it. I don't know about the other guns. I'm not going to go in depth. I don't care about them. It's very slow, extremely slow, actually, to the point where when you first start using it, crucially difficult. Like, you are not going to have fun using this gun at first. My advice would be to take the sights off, go iron sights, get as many attachments that increase your ADS, and do what you can. The damage is good, though. The one thing is the damage is very consistent. I rarely hit markers to the point, like, I will hit someone in the crotch or, like, the lower chest while they're, like, turned around and they're jumping in midair. So it technically hits their calf and it still kills them in one shot. So it's very consistent, very slow. I'm thinking the Type 63 is going to be like that, maybe a little faster, a little less damage, whatever. You can deal with it when it comes to it. There's also a glitch with this gun in particular where if you do the reload animation is very long, but if you melee when the animation starts, it auto loads it for you, so you skip the animation. So I don't know if that was intentional or what, but it's good on them for making speeding up the process a little bit, right? Let's get it going. The rest of the guns look copy pasted. SMG, LMG. LMGs are powerful, a lot of muzzle flash, assault rifles, some of them spunk around. The machine pistol sucks. You cannot control the recoil on that thing. There's no point in using it. The RPGs, you can't shoot kill streaks out of the sky. You can't see the kill streaks. You see both your team's kill streaks and the enemies in the air, but you don't know whose is whose, so you have to kind of shoot the kill streak to see if it takes damage before you shoot the rocket, and the rocket always misses. So they got to get that, settled, obviously. You got to get that cleaned out. What else is there really to say? Nothing, man. Actually, nothing. This game wants to be Battlefield really bad. I'm not really having trouble with the destructible surfaces. It is what you would expect. Some of them break, some of them don't. It's not really that, like, broken. Like, I don't know, maybe I haven't played enough, but I've never been, like, that upset. You know what I'm saying? I'm not crying about it. Really more fast-paced than the regular Modern Warfare. Definitely less people sitting in a corner with, like, a shotgun. Now, the shotguns are good, too. Shotguns aren't bad. But from what I can tell, though, this game's definitely faster. But if you had to take my opinion, these people over there, whatever company is developing it, I can't remember, I don't care. They are trying to make a Battlefield when there is already literally a Battlefield coming out this year. I think that was their mistake. If they had released this a year before, if they had released this months before, like 6 months before, 6 months later, it would, maybe. They're releasing it the same month, I'm pretty sure, as Battlefield. So you are actively trying to take and rip off a game that is already it has been years in development and is already doing it at the same time. Like, I don't understand the logic in copying someone but turning your work in at the same time, so that people, it wouldn't just be a teacher, everybody gets to see how yours is lacking compared to theirs, because they're the ones with the original blueprint. You're just copying that blueprint. That's what doesn't make sense to me, is that you go to this length to add more players, to add 24v24. I'm pretty sure that was a specific game. I didn't know it was like random. You queue up for quick play and it's like 6v6, 12v12, fucking 10v. Like, bro, they pick it for you. They want you to participate in these fast, big battles on these maps like it was Battlefield. But you are doing it at the same. What sense does that make, man? Did they think that they would make a better Battlefield than Battlefield? And obviously the game has not come out yet. This was recorded in September. This is when the beta is out, for like the second day it's been out. So if by some fluke they actually managed to make a better Battlefield, I will eat my words and buy the game. I'm not buying either until I see gameplay and I see the reviews for him. Vanguard, at the moment it is now, is not worth $60. The Ultimate Edition is $100. I'm pretty sure the Ultimate Edition for Black Ops Cold War was $90. So $100 for this game is not worth it in any sense of the world. This is all Xbox One gameplay. The graphics are pretty bad. There's a glitch when I don't know if it's with the sniper or with every gun, your character's arm like folds upside down while they're holding. It's terrible, man. It looks really ugly. The graphics on it are not very good. I recognize this game was made for PC. I recognize it'll run better on PC. I haven't had really any problems. There's visual glitches and shit popping up on screen, but other than that, nothing to really cry about. You know, nothing to really, like, I'm not gonna cry because there's some triangles on my screen. I don't care. I don't care if it lags a little. I'm not gonna, pack it, whatever, man. I play on an Xbox in the living room. I'm not a elite stud muffin gaming athlete. On a Xbox One controller I bought in 2014 with the left trigger sticky. So, in all reality, like, there's nothing for me to really cry about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing here for me, man. There's nothing here for me to cry about when it comes to the graphics. I would wait, and I would wager that Battlefield will do a better job just because they are Battlefield, you are Call of Duty. You make Call of Duty games, they make Battlefield games. This is how it goes. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day, and stay dangerous, and don't get this one.